to be something like Chariots of Fire. Maybe that name is good. Maybe it's something that we are gonna get when you see the Chariots of Fire. So let's continue very quickly. So we are in 18. David mustered the people who were with him and appointed thousands, commanders of thousands, and commanders of hundreds. David set out his troops, a third under the command of Joab, a third under Joab's brother Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, and a third under Ittai the Gittite. The king told the troops, I myself will march out with you. But the men said, you must not go. But if we were forced to flee, they won't care about us. Even if half, they won't care. But it's you're worth 10,000 of us. It would be better now for you to give us support from the city. The king answered, I will do whatever seems best to you. So the king stood beside the gate, while all his men marched out in units and hundreds of thousands. The king commanded Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, be gentle with the young man Absalom for my sake. And all the troops heard the king giving orders concerning Absalom to each of his commanders. David's army marched out to the city to fight Israel, and the battle took place in the forest of Ephraim. There, Israel troops were routed by David's men, and the casualties that day were great, 20,000 men. The battle spread out over the whole countryside, and the forest swallowed up more men that day than the sword. The forest swallowed the men. Now Absalom hurried to meet David's men. He was riding a mule, and as the mule went under the thick branches of the large oak, Absalom's hair got caught in the tree. He was left hanging in mid-air while the mule he was riding kept on going. When one of the men saw what had happened, he told Joab, I just saw Absalom hanging on an oak tree. Joab said to the man who told him this, what? You saw him? Why didn't you strike him to the ground right there? Then I would have given you 10 shekels of silver and a warrior's belt. But the man replied, even if 1,000 shekels were weighed out in my hands, I would not lay a hand on the king's son. On hearing the king, the king commanded you and Abishai and Ittai, protect the young man Absalom for my sake. And if I put my life in jeopardy and nothing is hidden from the king, you would have kept your distance from me. Joab said, I'm not going to wait like this for you. So he took 3 javelins in his hand, plunged them into Absalom's heart while Absalom was still alive in the oak tree. Wow. Then 10 of Joab's armor bearers surrounded Absalom, struck him, and killed him. Then Joab sounded the trumpet, and the troops stopped pursuing Israel, for Joab halted them. They took Absalom, threw him in a large pit in the forest, and piled up a large heap of rocks under him. Meanwhile, all the Israelites fled to their homes. We're reading 2 Samuel 18. I want us to finish reading 2 Samuel this morning, so that in the evening we can start reading something else. During his lifetime, Absalom had taken a pillar and erected it in the king's valley as a monument to himself. He thought, I have no son to carry on the memory of my name. He named the pillar after himself and called it Absalom's monument to this day. Now Ahimaaz the son of Zadok said, let me run and take the news to the king, and that the Lord has vindicated him by delivering him from the hands of his enemies. You're not the one to take the news today, Joab told him. You may take the news another time, but you must not do so today because the king's son is dead. Then Joab said to a Cushite, go tell the king what you have seen. The Cushite bowed down before Joab and ran off. Ahimaaz the son of Zadok again said to Joab, come, what may please me run behind the Cushite? But Joab replied, my son, any questions up to this channel? Subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Welcome to the Chariots of Fire. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy this morning, the morning of 28th of January, 2026, and I'm very happy to be here. Any questions up to there? You can ask me your questions, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. Remember, my dear brothers and sisters, we just have 60 days to read the scripture. We started in 1st of January. Now we're on 28th of January. We're still streaming, and I hope that by the end of February, we should have finished streaming the scripture. And I hope that you will be with me in this wonderful journey. Please kindly subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Then Ahimaaz called out to the king, all is well. He bowed down before the king with his face on the ground and said, Praise be to the Lord your God. He has delivered up those who lifted their hands against my lord the king. Then the king asked, Is the young man Absalom safe? Ahimaaz answered, I saw great confusion just as Job was about to send the king's servant and me, your servant, but I don't know what it was. The king said, Stand aside and wait here. So he steps outside and stood there. Then the Cushite arrived and said, My lord the king, hear the good news. The Lord has vindicated you today by delivering you from the hand of those who rose up against you. The king asked the Cushite, Is the young man Absalom safe? The Cushite replied, May the enemies of my lord the king and all those who rise up to harm you be like that young man. The king was shaken. He went up to his room over the gateway and wept. As he went, he said, Oh, my son Absalom, oh, my son Absalom, if only I had died instead of you, oh, Absalom, my son, my son. So here, the death of Absalom caused a lot of chaos at that time because the army were angry because Absalom, of course, David loved his son Absalom, but Absalom was... Any questions after that? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Let us continue reading some other time. Any questions? I need to go somewhere now. Any questions? Any questions? We're in 2 Kings 19. I think I need to go somewhere. I like doing my things in the morning. Any questions after that? Give you a few minutes. You may ask me your questions before I go. Ask me your questions as I leave. Ask me your questions. You are free to ask me your question before I go. Ask me your questions. We'll stop there. 2 Samuel 19. By tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be done with 2 Samuel so that we can start 1 Kings. Any questions? Any questions after there? All right. Let's meet later. Have a wonderful day.